Hello everybody, it's your boy Ryan, Purple's Mover, back again with another video, and today is going to be a little bit of a combination of a review and a speedrun. I didn't really know which one I wanted to go for this game, as I prefer to review it, but I also can't really review it without spoiling a lot, but I also like speedrunning games, so here we are. Before Your Eyes is a story-rich, narrative-based game that allows you to make decisions and take control of this young child's life while he remembers his past history by introducing to the player a unique mechanic of allowing eye tracking to see when you're blinking and having blinking be the main way of skipping through time. Now, as kind of like the short review of the game without really getting into the nitty-gritty details, go play this game, buy it, play it. It is not expensive. It is like an interactive movie that will quite literally make your whole evening, I'll say. Just go play it. Don't finish this video, go play the game. Now, I suspect if you've made it past this point in the video, you're either like me, a speedrunner, person that loves speedrunning games, has played this game and are just asking yourself, how does one necessarily speedrun this game? And if you're not that, if you're the kind of person that I just can't spend the money, well, you're going to get the whole game spoiled for you at this point, so going forward, just know that. So I'd say the key difference to the speedrun for this game, as opposed to normally playing the game, is I'd opt to use the mouse controls rather than the webcam. There are two different categories on speedrunning.com for this, but I believe the mouse controls just kind of make a lot more sense for a standard typical speedrun. And at this point, this is just going to be another kind of point and click for the most part. I mean, if you've played through this game casually, normally through, you're trying to really keep your eyes open and really not blink and, skip through the whole game, because you don't want to miss all these endearing moments that the, young child is having with their parents reliving through these memories. But as a speedrunner, we don't care about any of that. For the speedrun of this game, like I said, you're kind of just playing through the game normally instead of keeping your eyes open and trying to spend as much time soaking in all these scenes as much as possible. You are really just clicking, moving along as fast as possible. And when it comes to these big time life decisions in his memories that you're trying to be making, you gotta try to make sure that you make them as fast as possible and not allow the time to wane down at all. So when I was playing through this game casually, I really had to decide on what I wanted to do here, and even on my first speedrun, I wasn't sure if it was necessarily faster to make a decision or let it go all the way down, because if you make a decision, you are getting dialogue. However, if you compare the two times, it is nearly always faster to be making a decision immediately and letting the dialogue play through rather than letting the timer run down. Outside of waiting for these big time moment dialogues to play through, you're kind of just waiting for the metronome to finally pop up and allowing yourself to blink to skip to the next scene, especially in that first half of the game where you're going through this kid's life normally, or at least what you presume is the kid's life normally. After going through the kid's life normally the first time through, finding out about how he failed as a musician, discovering that art was his true passion, and then inevitably at the very end with his mother dying and then reconnecting with your dad back in the family house, you eventually are brought back to the ferryman, and he kind of goes on his long tangent about what he's doing here and how he's not a great storyteller, and eventually starts revealing what the true story is here going on with him in this second life. From a speedrunning perspective, this is kind of just like an unskippable cutscene. You can just sort of stand up, stretch, grab a snack if you'd like to. Like I said, this is a pretty long tangent he has, and eventually you're going to have to answer some questions for him, and you do want to answer these questions in a positive manner as quickly as possible, just to move the plot along. But this part of this game is not really that difficult, because the dialogue options all pop up in the exact same spot every single time. The third section of the game, where you go back to your life to really reveal what's going on or what you're actually hiding to the ferryman, from a speedrunning perspective, is a little bit different actually than the first half of the game. The thing that's the same at this point of the game is you do have to wait for the metronome to pop up and blink before you can go on to the next scene, but once you get to these key component scenes, instead of making a decision, the ferryman is going to ask you to really try to remember and hear and listen to everything that was going on. And to do this, you're going to actually have to close your eyes or hold down the click button at this point. And what makes this a little difficult is you're going to have to know when the audio cue goes so you can actually reopen up your eyes and move along with the plot. There are some scenes in this back third of the game where if you just keep your eyes closed or hold down the left click button, nothing will go and there still won't be any audio, so you'll know at that point that you're losing time. But there are also parts in this part of the game where the audio only needs to go about halfway through the dialogue, and at that point you can reopen your eyes and move along. Unfortunately, if you do open up a little too early, you're gonna have to reclose your eyes, and that is also a time loss, so you have to hit that nice sweet spot in the middle. And outside of these small changes, I mean, it is still just kind of a point and click, it is a narrative game, so there really isn't much in terms of tech or anything. It's not really a game that most people consider to speedrun, but if you enjoyed the game just as much as I did, and you are a speedrunner at heart, there is no harm in doing one speedrun of the game and just really seeing how fast you can go through the game. And the final time will be when you go back to the ferryman and he's taking you up to get tested, and once you see the title of the game before your eyes pop up on the screen, that is when time will come up. If you guys made it this far into the video, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have played through before your eyes, and after watching this, maybe considering speedrunning the game at least that one time, get your name up onto the leaderboard. See if you can beat my time of a 54:09. I mean, it is not terribly competitive, but I think it is something for you guys to work against. I consider myself quite the gamer, so even in a game like this, good luck beating that time.